We're live. We're doing it live. Daggone it. Where did my guys? Y'all doing? Welcome to the show. It's a new week. It's a new week. It's Monday. And we have more Job to talk about. But let me do my introduction real quick. My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, deacon at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. Not a pastor, biblical scholar, and haven't been to seminary. Not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm trying to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about Christianity, the Bible, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. Been a Christian all my life, 40 years, non-denominational Protestant. Don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination, just in the word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll do it right. Many times I'll do it wrong. But regardless, if you see me here streaming, you're going to be getting my honest takes on whatever it is we're discussing. So if you are somebody who is new to Christianity, somebody maybe wondering what it's all about, searching for Jesus, maybe there's a voice in the back of your mind wondering if there's more to life than just this existence here on earth. Welcome to the show. Hopefully, in your searching, and maybe you have been finding you're lacking. Well, I shouldn't say hopefully that you're lacking and it's something you're looking for. But perhaps in your search for answers, you are looking for a more down to earth, more layperson, commoner perspective on the faith. Maybe you don't want to hear it from the guy at the pulpit, the professionals. Nothing against those guys. They're great. But maybe they don't relate to you so well. Or maybe you just feel like you just want to hear it from somebody else. Maybe instead of hearing it from the guy in the pulpit, you want to talk to the guy sitting in the pew next to you. That's what you'll find here. Right? That's what you'll find here. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. I just got the book. Just reading it. Just going through it. And maybe this relaxed, informal, comfortable setting will help you better appreciate what the word has to say. And maybe hearing it from somebody who, like you, is sitting through the sermon and trying to make sense of it all, you will give it more validation. Hopefully, what you hear here will help get you started on a path to salvation. And if so, that's great. We want you to stick around. I want you to stick around, want you to ask questions, want to get your perspective on how we're listening to this stream, how digging into the word is helping you. If you're already a Christian and you just like hearing Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. Got a great group of folks here who tune in night in and night out. And we run it very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. So regardless of where you are in your faith journey, maybe you are further along, more knowledgeable than me, or maybe you're just starting out and know next to nothing. I want you in the chat. And I want to hear what you have to say. You make this show better by adding your 2 cents worth in. So please do so. And with that said, guys and gals, welcome to the show. It's a Monday. It's been a long day. Been working. And so got home, dinner, a little bit of time with kids, and then I just laid on the couch and passed out for about an hour. So I got my sun drop with me. which is like it's like Trailer Park Mountain Dew. If you could get more trashy than Mountain Dew. I remember when you could only get this stuff in North Carolina, or at least like it felt like that. If you were in Virginia, the only place you could catch Sundrop is in North Carolina. Uh, that's the truth. Um, so I woke up, so I'm refreshed, right? Get that little what usually an after lunch siesta, but this was an after work siesta. So I've got I'm vibing right now, guys. Dresden's first in the chat. Welcome to the show, sir. It is Tuesday over there. Well, you're already one day closer to the weekend. Hope you're doing well, Dresden. Matt Felty is here. Welcome, sir. Nernaeth. It is Wednesday. It is not Wednesday. It is not Wednesday, Nernaeth. And I'm not going to have your disinformation spread. Okay. This is not a place for information agents. Got nothing to say to you. Veritex here, tied up for a few. That's okay, Veritex. Just glad to have you here. Jab Slant, what's going on, sir? What's going on? Texan Italian. So, man, we got some guys filing in this fine evening. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I spent some time with in-laws, cousins, kids playing with their cousins. We went to King's Dominion, which is the local theme park. It is owned by the same company that owns Cedar Point. If any of you guys up in the Midwest are familiar with that, supposed to be at one point it was the roller coaster theme park in America. Not saying it was the only one, but it was like anybody who was a roller coaster aficionado went to Cedar Point in Ohio, I think it is. Anyway, King's Dominion, rode some rides, reminding myself that I am 40 years old and I can't do even being in aviation. I can't do the things that I did when I was in my 20s or even my 30s to some degree. To some degree. Of course, I never did a corkscrew in a helicopter. Those that made my tummy not feel too good. I made it. I didn't lose it. But I didn't feel great afterwards. You know, I'm holding my own. Holding my own through this roller coaster. And holding my own through the roller coaster. And having fun, right? Because that's the thrill. Buddy's a couple seats next to me because it's 4-cross. Buddy's a couple seats next to me. His daughter, who is like what? Like 3 feet tall and 20 pounds. That's not really. She's very petite. She's about as small as you can get and still ride on the rides, barely. So she's in between us, and then there's this random old lady sitting next to me. Right, so we're riding, and I'm having a great time. Great time. Do the loops, do the twists, upside down, no big deal. Corkscrew, do 2 corkscrews coming out of there. It's like those Instagram reels when you see Sully pop up. that's how it felt. And at that point, and it was close to the end of the ride. At that point, I was just trying to endure the rest of the ride. And when we get to the end, you know, you get over, you know, the roller coasters, they all do the same thing. They all get to the end, and then they come up behind the other the other set of cars, and you stop, and then you glide a little bit forward. And I'm sitting there going, hold together. You got your best friend at the end. You got a you got a little girl next to you, and you got an old lady on the other side of you. You better not lose your lunch, you baby. and I did not. By There was only pride in between me, holding me back from embarrassing myself. And it's a good thing too, because if I had some food, some lunch, sharing that space with my pride, the pride wouldn't be there anymore. It would have gone up and out of my mouth with the rest of what I had eaten earlier. I'm not a guy who's been I'm not a guy who gets motion sick. The last couple times I've been on roller coaster on that particular coaster, it's gotten the better of me. Now I'm more of a Alpengeist guy down in Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. But very similar ride. There's a lot of corkscrews in there. But King's Dominion, I think it's the Dominator, I think is what it was called. And yeah, I've not been in a good place when I've left. It hasn't beaten me. But it has gotten the better of me. And so after that I went to the Firehouse subs, which they don't have subs there. It's just barbecue. So it's Firehouse barbecue they have in there, which replaced the Chick-fil-A, and proceeded to eat brisket and potato wedges while I tried to collect myself and talk my wife through my failings as a 40-year-old man. Ugh. Anyway, I'm glad that I'm I'm providing you with some entertainment. Oh, Veritex. I remember It Cola. I don't remember It Cola. RC Cola? When was the last time you saw an RC Cola bottle? Oh, all the time. RC's all over the place down in Virginia. I said I think he's trying to say it's "We Need More Jobs Day." Is that what he's trying to say? Yeah, it's hard to understand their nath sometimes. Texan Italian Lambda Squared. Yeah. Do you like this? Look, I have some of these shirts you see I wear are newer, but a lot of the shirts you see me wear are old as dirt. This was a launch t-shirt I got from Half-Life 2 on PC circa 2003, 2004. Sometimes I wear shirts from 2005 and 2006. I've got old shirts. I try to hang on to them as long as possible. Love this shirt. I love this shirt. I love wearing it. I love it when people get it. I love it when people get it. Emmanuel said, "Hello. Hope everyone is doing well. My foot is healing up. Excellent. But still can't walk normal. Not yet, anyways. Do they not have you in a boot? Is it, were you at the state fair or something? No, I don't go to the state fair because I find the state fair to be a ripoff. Just go to any theme, insert any theme park. It's gotten worse over the years, apparently, because the available. It's like sometimes you go to see, the different animals that are there. They got a lot of farm animals there, a lot of interesting things to see, but it's all apparently it's not what it used to be. And even then, I thought it was a ripoff. I mean, look, growing up in the country, I can see animals just about anywhere. Right? Don't need to go to state fair to see that. Who's got the biggest sunflower? Great. I know a couple people who entered to win that contest, and they had some pretty big sunflowers. I'm glad people go there and have fun. I particularly find it to be a waste of money, and the rides aren't anywhere near as good, and the lines are longer. Some people go for the music. We have some decent music, but personally, I pass. My kids have fun. My wife takes the kids, and that's their thing, not mine. No, my thing is the when I go to anything, it's the Pocosin Seafood Festival. It is down in one of the peninsulas on the Chesapeake Bay in Virginia, and it is fresh, caught the day of or the night before seafood out of the Chesapeake Bay. Fresh blue crab, fresh scallops, fresh clams, soft shell crab. Mm, it's good. And then add to that all of the state fair food that you can get at the state fair, but for less money. Oh, they have animals there. It's not huge. It's not hard to get into. It's not hard to get out of. They got music there. Goes and Seafood Festival, better than the Virginia State Fair. Because it's this it's basically a slice of the state fair with fresh seafood. Just delicious. It's delicious, guys. Veritex says, is that what they replaced the Beast with? I don't know. I used to not go to King's Dominion. Like I said, I'm more of a Busch Gardens Williamsburg guy. It's a King's Dominion. Funny enough, it's in the same county as me, but and Busch Gardens is about 20 minutes further away. But Busch Gardens is always a cleaner theme park. It's to me it was a better atmosphere. It's done up like the old European scene. Like it's got different countries. You go to Ireland, you go to France, Germany, that kind of stuff. I think their productions are more. That's mo better there. So I always preferred to go there. So I didn't, you don't go to, or at least me in particular, it's like, look, go to the one I like better instead of going to a bunch of them. So I can't remember what the Beast, but I used to go there back in the day when they had the Rebel Yell. They still have the Grizzly, which it used to be. I don't know if it's still like you used to not have really been to King's Dominion until you got stuck on until the Grizzly ride broke down with you on the cart. I think I've been on it twice when it's broken down. What else? Shockwave, which isn't there anymore. Somebody got beheaded on that because they were goofing off. Scooby-Doo. When I was a kid, King's Dominion used to be owned by or have licensing from Hanna-Barbera. So all the people in costumes were all Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Scooby-Doo, Flintstones, Jetsons, all that kind of like the old school cartoons. And that was great. Then Paramount came in and bought them. And so then you saw stuff like Star Trek and Top Gun and those kind of themes from Paramount movies. But then they sold to whatever the company that owns Cedar Point is. I think it's been the same ever since. And they've got what they've got there now is Peanuts is the theme. So it's Snoopy, and that's like the kids area. Snoopy and Charlie Brown stuff, which the kids have a great thing. You have a great time with that. They did not gotten rid of the Avalanche bobsled, which I think is the greatest starter roller coaster of all time. It's kind of like like I said, it's the Avalanche bobsled came out about it was mid to late 80s when the Winter Olympics were in the US, I think. The timing was mid to late 80s when it came out, but it was based off the bobsled racing. And that's how it's basically. It's like a half pipe. It's a really smooth roller coaster, and you just go around. And I liked it as a kid because it didn't go upside down. It was very low key. So if you like roller coasters but you're not really a motion person, it's a great one to pass the time. But they've repainted it and made it the Reptile. Fairtex says we have a firehouse subs in Blacksburg. Best meatball sub other than homemade. I'm not a big meatball sub fan, but I like Firehouse. I particularly like Jersey Mike's better, but man, that brisket at the Firehouse was good. It was good. I love brisket too. And that grease wasn't really the best thing to eat on a sour stomach, but didn't care. Emmanuel says I can awkwardly walk with a boot on, but I still use crutches when the pain is too bad. I haven't been to a state fair since like 2016 or somewhere around that time. It's deer hunting season now, so I'm going to see more deer on the road soon enough. Oh, I thought you were going to go deer hunting, like legitimately deer hunting, and not just bopping them off of the bumper of your truck. Manuel says it reminds me of the beheading that happened at Six Flags 25 years ago in Cali. Oddly enough, the shockwave beheading was around the same time, 25 years ago. Some doofus was goofing off and trying to stand up weird, and apparently stood up too high, and it was weird. I still don't know how they managed to do that. Anyway, Carl says the Italian is good at Firehouse. Yes, sir. If you are a sub place and you can't do a good Italian, get out of the business. My favorite is the hook and ladder at Firehouse, but man, I love a good Italian sub. That's my hook and ladder at Firehouse and the stickball special at Jersey Mike's. All right. That's enough. That's the you get the first 20 minutes of gathering here, folks. Now we're going to talk about the good book. The good book, and we're in a great book of the good book, which is Job. And things are going to start to change a little bit tonight. All right, we had the beginning where we kind of set the stage. Who is Job? What is Job? And where is Job? Excuse me. Now, what the book doesn't really tell you is when is Job. Job takes place, as we can tell, from what we can tell, a little bit before Abraham shows up. Even though the book is listed much later in the Bible, but we're in kind of a different section of the Bible. But that's around the time it's happening. Who is Job? Job is a righteous man, blameless in the sight of the Lord, so he's a good dude. What is Job? Well, Job is the target of Satan. Job is a target of Satan because he is a righteous man, blameless in the eyes of the Lord. Satan is trying to prove to God that he can turn Job into from a man of faith to a man who curses God. Where is Job? Job's in the Middle East somewhere. Job, after Satan gets done doing all the things that he does to Job, Job is not in a very good place in his mind. Nunath, that's the last bit of heresy I'm going to allow from you on this stream. I welcome everybody on this stream to share their thoughts, but we're not going to have, everybody has their limits. We can only keep up with so much of your nonsense. Proper delicatessens are German. Leave. Get out. Look. Anything the Germans can make food-wise, the Polish can make better. Yeah, stop it. Stop it. We're not going to have this debate. A deli can be Italian. You've ever heard of an Italian deli? You have Jewish delis, which is kosher meats, but but yeah, that's not it's not limited to uh, kosher delicatessens. Neuronase delicatessens originated in Germany during the 18th century and spread to the United States in the mid 19th century. So what? Have you ever heard of a bodega? Oh, didn't mean to butcher the puns today. Have you ever heard of bodega? Of course, I've heard of bodega. Emmanuel's here. Look at that. They said when I hear about it, when people talk about Italian food, it reminds me of the Family Guy. But where Peter goes into a deli because he thinks growing a mustache, he automatically learned Italian. Stab it. All right. Job's not in a good place. Right? Lost his property, lost his family. His wife's still there. She's lost her faith. He's probably lost his relationship with her to some degree. She's lost her mind, understandably. It's a lot to digest. His friends show up. Satan's gotten to them. They think they've basically spent the last few weeks we've been reading from Job. This gets left up for the rest of the day, though. They've spent the last few weeks we've been covering Job, chastising Job, back and forth. We've got since let's see, we're in chapter 20, starting chapter 27 tonight. Since chapter 3, Job starts to talk. His friends start to go to tell him he's done something to deserve this. Back and forth. Job defends himself. Another friend pipes up. Job defends himself. Another friend pipes up. And then rinse, repeat, right? They cycle through. And the last time, Bildad was the one who spoke. And so the last, like I said, last few weeks, it's been this. It's been that formula. Tonight, we're going to start on what ends up becoming a five-chapter. Wait, let me make sure that I got that right. Yeah. 5-chapter monologue from Job. Where he's going to talk about all sorts of stuff. We assume. I mean, he's got to talk about something. It's 5 chapters. I don't see any genealogy in here, so that's good for me because I don't have to try to pronounce weird stuff, weird words. Nernath doesn't get to laugh at me, going, "I told you, just run with it. Just don't recognize you're butchering the words and try to fix it. Just own it." But we're going to start tonight and find out what Job has to say that's worth 5 chapters. Mind you guys, if you're just catching this for maybe the first time, or you're not very familiar with Job, this book is a book about dealing with loss, dealing with tragedy, and at the same time working through it with your faith and understanding that bad things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people, It's not always because you did the right thing that you get rewarded. Or it's not just always, hey, you're a um, you're a righteous Christian. Now I'm going to hurt you even more to put you to the test. Sometimes you're a victim of your own consequences, positive or negative. Sometimes you get caught up in someone else's. Sometimes God is taking you in, is trying to point you somehow to Him, and you've got to figure it out. He's trying to send you a message. But don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. And if you're one of these people watching one of your friends go through something, maybe be more supportive than the friends that Job has. Maybe don't listen to Satan. Maybe don't believe everything you hear from strange spirits lying in pawns, distributing information. It's no basis for a system of belief. All right. Chapter 27. Job affirms his righteousness. Job continued his discourse and said, "As God lives, who has taken away my right and denied me justice, and the Almighty, who has caused bitterness and grief for my soul, as long as my life is with me, and the breath of God is still in my nostrils, my lips will not speak unjustly, nor will my tongue utter deceit. Far be it from me that I should admit you are right in your accusations against me. Until I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. I hold fast my uprightness and my right standing with God, and I will not let them go. My heart does not reproach me for any of my days." Nice beginning. Look, God is real and He is great. And though He has punished me and brought me woeful events in my life, as long as I draw breath, I will not speak unjustly. I will not lie. I'm not going to admit that I did something just because you folks exasperate me. Just because I want to please y'all, just because I want you guys to shut up for whatever reason. The truth is the truth. And I hold fast. I hold tightly to my righteousness. My behavior, my reputation. And I will not let them go. You can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. Cold, dead hands. Job with his Charlton Heston moment. Cold, dead hands. My heart does not reproach me for any of my days. Say what you want, friends. Just because you say it doesn't make it true. And I'm not just going to go along with it because you guys bully me into it. The state of the godless. May my enemy be as the wicked, and he who rises up against me be as the unjust. For what is the hope of the godless, even though he has gained in this world when God takes his life? He's going to make some points here. Will God hear his cry when trouble and distress come upon him? Will he take delight in the Almighty? Will he call on God at all times? I will teach you regarding the hand and the power of God. I will not conceal what is with the Almighty, God's actual treatment of the wicked. Behold, all of you have seen it. Why then do you act vainly and foolishly, cherishing worthless concepts? This, which I am about to explain, is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the inheritance which tyrants and oppressors receive from the Almighty. Though his children are many, and they are destined for the sword. I'm sorry. Though his children are many, they are destined for the sword, and his descendants will not have sufficient bread. Those who survive him will be buried because of the plague, and their widows will not be able to weep. Though he heaps up silver like dust and piles up clothing like clay, he may prepare it, but the just will wear it, and the innocent will divide the silver. He builds his house like a spider's web, like a temporary hut which a watchman makes. He lies down rich, but never will again. He opens his eyes, and it's gone. Terrors overtake him like a suddenly rising flood. A windstorm steals him away in the night. The east wind lifts him up, and he is gone. It sweeps him out of his place. For it will hurl thunderbolts of God's wrath at him unsparingly and without compassion. He flees in haste from its power. People will clap their hands at him to mock and ridicule him and hiss him out of his place. Oh, what this is basically talking about is, or at least what it seems to be to you. I shouldn't say what this is basically talking about. Like I have a daggone clue. But what it sounds like to me is what it's talking about. Yeah, sure. Maybe you are rich in this world, in this life, with worldly possessions, and maybe you enjoy success. But if you don't believe in God, then do you think what do you think God's going to do when your time's up? When your time on this earth is over? Or when you do finally have obstacles in your life, how are you going to cope with it? You're going to reach out to God. You don't believe in him. You don't care about him. And maybe you have set your descendants up. Maybe you've set your family up. Maybe you have lots of kids. But that's not going to prevent them or their descendants. Heck on it. Sorry, guys. I hate it when I boomer that. That's not going to take them or prevent them or perhaps their descendants from making their own mistakes, squandering whatever it is you provide them with, or protecting them. You can't even protect yourself. No, Emmanuel. Sorry, guys. That's why I said hold on. That was just my son. He's having difficulty falling asleep, so I was trying to help him with it. Can you hear me now? Am I back? I feel like I'm back. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's why I said hang on, guys, before I turned it on mute. Sorry. Maybe I'll be more clear next time. Maybe that wasn't enough of enough explanation. Yeah, nothing was wrong. I just had the stream muted while I was like I said, talking to my son. Yeah, if y'all look and y'all see me turned around, I'm probably muted on purpose. Heard the boomer comment only. Yeah. Um you can't even protect yourself. Job's righteous. Bad things happen to him. Of course, this was there was uh will there involved there. There was specific targeting there. But just because you can collect it is everything in this world is fleeting. So if you put your value and you think that that's all that matters to you, or if maybe that is all that matters to you, remember that this is all temporary and it's not guaranteed. So it's important to keep that in mind um, when you end up letting it uh, consume you, right? Nernea said it looks like. I'm sorry. Let me go up a little bit. Veritax said Job sounds like he's got some divine intervention about my interpretation. My interpretation of Job from one of your previous vids there. maybe we just see where he's kind of going with this. Nernea said it looks like this is some kind of poetry, like Psalms based on the spacing. I think either Job has a bunch of free time or he wants to leave a legacy so he's not forgotten. No, um, Job is, whether you want to say that Job is a legitimate, historically accurate recounting, or if it is what some people believe, that it is it is basically I don't think fable is the right word, but a story based on real events with some poetic license taken into it, and then either way you take this book, it is written in kind of a poetic prose. I don't think they talk to each other like this, but like exactly like this word for word, especially when we've got other translations and everything. But no, I don't think they spoke in I don't think this was like a rap battle between them. Um but I think that this was the exchange of thoughts and ideas. Or perhaps they did. Or perhaps they did talk like this. From what I understand, and maybe I'm stupid. From what I've been told, uh, ancient Hebrew language is very metaphorical in its um, meaning, in its structure, and that's what we see a lot here. He builds his house like a spider's web. A lot of simile right there. The innocent will divide the silver. He lies down rich, but never will again. He opens his eyes and is gone. Terrors overtake him like a suddenly rising flood. A windstorm steals him away in the night. There's a lot of imagery there. Isn't allegory using animals though? Allegory, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. Emmanuel said there's a reason that even non-believers say ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Here's Veritax coming with the educational stuff. It is grouped with the wisdom literature. Some scholars think it might be a story and Job wasn't a real person. Job tells of earth's treasures. Surely there is a mine for silver and a place where they refine gold. Iron is taken out of the earth and copper is smelted from the stone ore. Man puts an end to darkness by bringing in a light, and the farthest bounds he searches out, the rock buried in gloom and deep shadow. He breaks open mine shafts far away from where people live, in places forgotten by the human foot. They dangle in the mines and hang away from men. As for the earth, it comes out of. I'm sorry. As for the earth, out of it comes food, but underneath its surface, down deep, it is turned over as fire. Its stones are the bed of sapphires. It holds dust of gold. The path deep within, no bird of prey knows, and the falcon's eye has not caught sight of it. A lot of Lord of the Rings, Mines of Moria quotes are going through my mind right now. The proud beasts and their young have not walked on it, nor has the fierce lion passed over it. Man puts his hand on and tears apart the flinty rock. He overturns the mountains at the base, looking for treasure. He cuts out channels and passages among the rocks, and his eye sees every precious thing. Man dams up the streams from flowing, so that they do not trickle into the mind, and what is hidden he brings out to the light. I like how this is structured. We're talking about how man can come up with ingenious ways for pulling silver, gold, precious gems, iron and copper out of the earth. They have to dig. They have to dam up water. It is hard. They have to break it apart. But man is so committed to pursuing these things. He has developed ways to get to it. And here's the follow-up. But where can wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man does not know the value of it, nor is it found in the land of the living. The deep says, "It is not in me," and the sea says, "It is not with me." It cannot be obtained for pure gold, nor can silver be weighed as its price. It cannot be valued in terms of the gold of Ophir, in the precious onyx or beryl or the sapphire. Gold and glass cannot equal wisdom. Glass was considered highly valuable back then, guys. Gold and glass cannot equal wisdom, nor can it be exchanged for articles of fine gold. No mention of coral and crystal can be made, for the possession of wisdom is even above that of rubies or pearls. The topaz of Ethiopia cannot compare with it, nor can it be valued in pure gold. From where then does wisdom come, and where is the place of understanding? It is hidden from the eyes of all the living, and concealed from the birds of the heavens. Abaddon, the place of destruction, and death say, "We have only heard a report of it with our ears." God understands the way to wisdom, and he knows its place, for wisdom is with God alone. For he looks to the ends of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. When he gave weight and pressure to the wind and allotted the waters by measure, when he made a limit for the rain and a wave for the thunderbolt, then he saw wisdom and declared it. He established it and searched it out. But to man he said, "Behold, the reverential and worshipful fear the Lord. That is wisdom. and to depart from evil is understanding. I love it. I love it. All these things we do to pursue physical, valuable things, precious metals, precious gems, resources, natural resources dug from the ground, metals, such. But what about wisdom? Can't buy it, can't mine for it, you can't hunt it. I guess you can, but not in the sense like you hunt for an animal. How do you search for it? As much as we have searched for, have we come up with ways to try to make ourselves rich with um, through physical means? How often does that get in the way of us learning true wisdom? But to man he said, "Behold, the reverential and worshipful fear the Lord. That is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding." Let's go back or move ahead, depending on how you're looking at it, to the 10 Commandments. I am the Lord your God who has brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. It's a little twist on this. Now we know the first commandment is about understanding that God is great, and there are no other gods but him. There are demons, there are false idols, there is Satan, there are angels, but there is no peer to God. And we need to recognize that and honor that. You shall make for yourself any idol or any likeness, form, manifestation of what is in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth as an object to worship. You shall not worship nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous and passionate God, demanding what is rightfully and uniquely mine, visiting and avenging the iniquity of sin, guilt of the fathers on the children, that is calling the children to account for the sins of their fathers, to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing graciousness and steadfast loving kindness to thousands of generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. The twist here is if you concern yourself too much and spend your days working for what's valuable to enrich yourself, or with the idea to enrich yourself, you're doing it wrong. And you're making this physical, worldly resource, this pursuit of wealth, into an idol. You want to enrich yourself? You want to be truly wealthy? Wisdom's the way for that. Look at King Solomon, right? But to man he said, "Behold, the reverential and worshipful fear the Lord. That is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. Boom. That's a great way to close out. That's a banger of a chapter, especially this one. Job talking of earth's treasures and talking about wisdom. It's important to remember while we listen to Job, and while Job is kind of confused and kind of out of sorts, Job isn't righteous by accident. Job just didn't stumble upon righteousness. Job just didn't trip and fall and land into great wealth and success. Job is smart. Job has wisdom. And he has a lot more wisdom than everybody else we've heard about in this book, except for God. He's got more wisdom even than Satan, who is clever and sly. But where Satan turned against God, Job has not. Satan turned against God for pride and greed. Job instead chose humility and loyalty and love and respect for God. That'll conclude our stream tonight. So Matt Felty, Emmanuel Osorio, Veritax, Nernaeth, Carl, Texan Italian, Matt Felty. Did I say Matt Felty already? I did also already say Matt Felty. Jab, Slant, Dresden. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your comments. I try to say this, and I think I do, every night that I stream. Your comments make this show better. Keep it coming. Glad to have you here. I am grateful for what you have to say. Emmanuel says Job has a lot of wisdom. And remember, most importantly, he is obedient and sticking with the fundamentals of faith. And that is why he's so strong with the Lord. Truth. What's going on, Zero? What's going on, Zero? So those in the chat, everybody I talked about, and Zero getting the thumbs up at the end. Like I said, you guys make this chat better. You make the show better. You bring value. And I think it's not just good for me to hear what you have to say. It's good for you guys as well. It's good for each other. To everybody who's listening and not commenting, that's fine. I encourage you to do so, but nobody wants. I don't want to force you either. But I am glad you're tuning in, and I'm glad that I'm producing content that you like to tune into day in and day out. Please give this a like. Please subscribe. Please share this stream with whoever you think can use it. I would appreciate it. If you are catching this stream on the back end, hope to catch you live sometime. We'll be back on tomorrow night. Everybody have a good night, and God bless.